Okay, folks, welcome to Swing Trading Today. This is Bob Desmond, and it is 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, the 13th of October. All right, we're going to kick things off with the NASDAQ 100 in particular, because we began shorting it yesterday in earnest. We went into the day with a hedge, a short position, but we're still long the market. But yesterday, it became a little bit overbought relative to the third standard deviation Bollinger Band on a daily chart. And I haven't taken a look at the news yet this morning because I literally just rolled out of bed. And I'm not seeing anything in terms of a deal. So what they're going to do here is they're going to continue to trade the narrative. What's that narrative? The narrative is there's a deal coming, folks. You got to get all excited. Get excited, buy stocks. Yeah, nothing going on here. Buy stocks, trust the Wall Street thugs. They know best. Nothing happening. And I'll share with you, because I put out a video last night. I actually put up the wrong video. Very embarrassing. Nothing horrible. It wasn't porn after all. But I'm going to be putting up a video I made last night that talks about in greater detail the Qs, let's see, Invesco Fund, and how they traded yesterday. So let's spend a moment here, just in case you don't have an opportunity to later on. So when I went short, aggressively short, we were trading above the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. That doesn't in and of itself mean that the Qs are going to roll over, but it's not good. It's telling you that in all probability you're going to get a pause, or if they continue to creep it up to new higher highs, you're going to get a rollover. The last time that this had happened, the last time we tapped and pierced the third standard deviation Bollinger Band, not the 2 standard out of the box. This is a modified 3 standard deviation Bollinger Band. The last time that happened was back here, February 5th, 2020, and it didn't end well. Obviously, this was COVID. Hopefully, we do not have a redo or anything near that calamity. But and I'm not even predicting that we're going to have a hard crash. I'm not. I think we're just going to get a correction. And in fact, I'm a believer that in all probability, the Dow Jones by election day should be at new all-time highs. Here's a daily chart. We're flirting with 29,000. All-time highs are at 29,600. So while I am short the Qs and don't necessarily believe that they will be the ones, and we have earnings today, big earnings today. That was a side note. I'll go to those names in a moment. Banks, big banks. I don't think that it's going to be the Qs that lead us through earnings season as they did last quarter and of Q2. So, long story short, I'm bullish on what's been battered. I'm bullish on industrials. Why? Take a look at the Dow transports. And if you're watching this video, don't even watch the other video that I'm going to put back up. I put up the wrong video again. Tick me off. I actually put up members' commentary last night. If you take a look at the Dow transports, you know, I've been a big bull on the Dow transports. I think that they've come a long way, very, very far. Fourth consecutive day above the 2, not 3, but 2 standard deviation Bollinger Band. They've come a long way. Yesterday, you saw a bit of topping action, a filled candlestick. It's a sign of weariness. It's a sign of indecision, and that we may have a trend reversal, albeit fairly short. Take note, volume very, very light and declining sequentially, although we put in new all-time highs yesterday. All right? So let's be very, very careful with this market. Don't listen to these thugs that are going on CNBC. They don't know, I'm going to steal a line from Wall Street, they don't know preferred stock from livestock. They're not looking at charts, looking at spreadsheets. They're looking at what their bosses told them to push today. So they want the narrative of a bull market being one that is unchallenged. I'm not going to challenge it necessarily, but I'm going to say that we're going to pause here. And that flies in the face of what's going on in the pre-market. And I freely admit that. I don't have to put up that video, which was pretty pessimistic. But I'll stand by my position that the NASDAQ, I went over the daily chart. This is the NASDAQ 100. They are now up after being down last night. Hey, Sam, WG, good morning. After being down last night, they've reversed. This is a 4-hour chart. Now they're beginning to move higher. Are they going to shame me? Are they going to probably put in new daily highs? Probably. But I'll probably be looking to lean into the short side, especially if they announce a deal. Here's what's, in my thoughts, what's going to happen. Larry, good morning, Bob. While going low carb, don't neglect your vitamin D3. I'm taking vitamin D. Oh, actually, B3. No, D3 is in my calcium and zinc. I'm not taking zinc, but that's in my multi. Thanks, Larry. I appreciate that. We got a concerned group here. UK is not in good shape. It seems the virus with multiple zone. I read that the CDC and even WHO the other day said that lockdowns were now working, and we should stray away from them. Big shock. I'm sorry to hear that about the UK, Sam. I hope everything's well there in Italy, but I think that Sweden had it right, and for whatever reason, the world doesn't want to look at Sweden. Whatever. It doesn't make sense. It's not working. Whatever they're doing is not working over in Britain in particular. All right, so what I think is going to happen here is that they're going to reach a deal because the Wall Street wants Biden. Why? Biden wants social spending. He wants a ton more debt. You have President Trump. Let's face it. I'm going to vote for the guy. I'm in. I'm locked in. Do I like the fact that we're going more and more into debt? No, I don't like it. But the lesser of two evils when it comes down to fiscal spending is by far President Trump. Because if he follows through, meaning Biden, on half of his promises, he's got no other choice but put the pedal to the metal and ramp up spending like it's nobody's business. You're going to see the bond market crash. You're going to see the U.S. dollar crash. It's going to be dystopian. It really is. I digress. Back to the NASDAQ. Will they put in a new daily high? Probably. Earnings are coming out soon. Let's go to what's reporting earnings today. Let's see what's going on in the pre-market with those names. Sorry I'm not ready, folks. I just woke up and got out of bed literally a couple minutes ago. I was up so late last night. Okay, so we have J&J this morning. JP Morgan, big. Citigroup, big. BlackRock, not as big, but big. We have an airline. So big morning here. Let's pull up these names. Let's see what they're doing pre-market. I doubt they have news out yet, but we'll take a look. Let's be curious. All right, Citigroup appears to be ready to launch here. And the other thing that they were able to do yesterday was manipulate the market because the bond market was closed. The bond market was closed. And I'll bet you with Citi moving what appears to be up in the pre-market yields, unless they're front-running earnings, yields are probably moving up higher. That means bonds are coming in. Let's take a look. This is the 10-year Treasury note. Is it up or is it down? I don't know. I'm going to bet that it is down. Let's see. I'm wrong. This is not a halfway bad-looking chart. For all intents and purposes, they're flat. But so are bond yields. So that's going to allow Citi, the banks, to pump up higher. If yields do spike, you're going to see Citi, JPM, as long as their loan loss reserves don't come in bigger than what was expected, their losses on auto loans, watch their auto loans, credit card defaults. So Citi looking good. Let's bring up JPM. Arthur, good morning. You carrying spies into the day, Arthur? JPM looking good this morning. Let's bring up Delta. They're reporting. They're down. Do we have news? No. All right, let's scroll through the futures a bit here. The dollar up, but struggling. Up, but struggling. Oil took it on the chin yesterday a bit. But oil, if you look at a daily chart of oil, it broke out last week. Now we're retesting that prior resistance line, is attempting to be tested now and to act as support on a daily time frame. Does it hold? We don't know. So I'd prefer to go with light sweet crude to remain consistent. Let's bring that up rather than Brent. All right, so good. Oil's up, light sweet crude up about 1 1/3%. Good stuff. Now, nat gas was surging yesterday morning. I think it came off of its highs by the close. Yeah. But a big day yesterday for nat gas. Let's take a look at it on a weekly basis. It was a big, big move yesterday. New weekly high. It broke out. We broke out. We were in this trading channel for the past couple of months, and that appears to be done now. We're moving higher. Moving on to, we discussed the dollar. Let's take a look at gold. Gold down on the session. I don't know. This looks pretty ominous. It looks as though we're probably going to move up higher. We had pulled back off of the highs of the day yesterday, but overnight, we rallied off of support or the 20-period moving average, whichever you want to use. And it appears as though we are now, after recapturing support, we're going to pump up higher here on gold. Let's go to silver. Sam, they're getting coronavirus because of beer over in the UK. You know what? Heck, if that's the way you have to do it, that's the way you have to do it. Got to live your life. Life's too short. Have a beer. Except I can't. Sober October. I've decided I'm carrying it into November, although I'm going to take a break on Halloween and have a party. But I'm going to go. I'm going to extend. I'm going to be doing Dry-vember this year as well. No carbs, no booze. So let it be written, so let it be done. All right, so silver breaking out to buy. How are we looking on a weekly chart? Right at resistance. So if you wanted to wait for silver, spot silver, to close above 26, that would be a very good risk-reward entry point. Back to the 4-hour chart. Let's go to the SPYs. Heck, let's do the Russell. They're in front of me. I got to go looking for the spiders. They're gone now for whatever reason. All right, we're down. Russell's down. Light volume on the Russell yesterday. So we had the NASDAQ 100 getting pumped up again today, while the Russell is down. Where are my minis? E-minis. And we have the S&Ps down as well. Flat. Let's say they're flat. And the NASDAQ 100 up. Spot 6%. No, there's not a pump going on here. Give me a break. This is Amazon, Netflix, Google, same names. Apple, same names. Microsoft. Handful of stocks driving the market up higher. We've already seen here. We've been to the puppet show. We saw the strings. Let them pump it up higher. If they go to extreme overbought levels, I'll be leaning into this market heavily short. And it's not a bet that we're going to crash. It's a bet that we're going to come in. Microsoft, largest component of the triple Qs. You know, I want to bring up a chart of Microsoft because I always want to remind people of where we're at. And this is always what's in the back of my head. Because people are always like, why are you shorting Microsoft? Why are you shorting the Qs? Take a look at Microsoft. This is a quarterly time frame. And this is multi-time frame analysis, right? You want a bubble? You got a bubble. Microsoft, RSI 92.95. This is a 2 standard deviation Bollinger Band. Let's bring up a 3. Let's make that red. And let's bring up a yearly chart. Remember, quarterly basis, RSI 92.95, nearly 93. A mega cap. One of the largest companies in the world with an RSI of 93, yearly chart. Here's the 3rd standard deviation Bollinger Band in red. RSI on a yearly time frame, 93.81. We are trading above for now the 4th consecutive year. the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. Folks, this is not going to end well. There will be a day of reckoning here. And when you see days where the Microsoft and the Qs and the XLK, which is a technology ETF, rallying into the third standard deviation Bollinger Band, it doesn't end well. Just like you saw back here. We hit it August the 27th, tapped it again on the 28th. A couple of days later, hammered. Same thing back here. Rallied, hammered. After tapping it, leaning into it. Same thing back here. And I think this is more applicable, this type of correction this time around. I'm not expecting an immediate crash here. I think any crash is going to happen after the election. That's going to be a crisis of confidence. Yields declining, dollar declining. Nobody wants our debt. We become a banana republic because all we're doing is printing. Then when people start to walk, countries start to walk, sovereigns begin to walk, institutions begin to walk away from the United States, well then, yields are going to spike and inflation is going to go parabolic. Until that time, this show can continue for a while. So Microsoft could easily drop back down to its 20-period moving average, which has now flattened out and beginning to rise back up again. I digress. Let's go back to, let's see what the Qs are doing now on the NASDAQ 100. Still very close to the highs of the session. And we have a new intraday high, I believe. High yesterday, 121.88. No, not yet. Not quite yet. All right. Copper coming off of its lows. It corrected a bit. Looks like it's going to go up higher. Let's take some chart requests. Then I am going to make a second pot of coffee and get really junked up here because I'm working on about 3 hours worth of sleep. All right. We went over Microsoft. I'll take a couple of requests from the audience, but first I need to go over to members, see what they're requesting. I'm looking at my other screen here. All right. Twilio. They had a news yesterday, Twilio. I think they're selling off one of their divisions. Yeah, so they spiked up higher yesterday. Rising Twilio. I think they're selling one of their divisions. Oh, they're buying a division. Twilio signs definitive agreement to acquire Segment. All right, so it was an acquisition. This is a good company. They have printing presses. They bill me for, because I send out live trade alerts, and I use them, and man, they bill me. All right, so TWLO, we're going to be using TrendSpider, Automated Technical Analysis. There's a 35% discount code below. Wrong. Website. Go to the video description area. All right, Twilio, TWLO. Yeah, big move up higher yesterday. Let's first take a look at a weekly chart. All right, clearly a continuation breakout on the week after having broken out the week of the 28th of September. All systems a go here. I mean, this stock is a monster. I just want to take a quick peek at a monthly time frame. Probably not a lot of data here. No, there's not. A monster. Daily chart. I think it's going higher. If you're going to momentum trade it on a new tick, on a daily high, fine. Use a trailing stop loss order. Let the market take you out. I like it. I think Twilio is going up higher. We were up on good volume yesterday. All systems a go here to move up higher. It's very nice. You know, we are extended relative to the Bollinger Bands, but, you know, it could stay extended. I wouldn't initiate a new trade personally. But if you're a momentum trader and you're going to use a trailing stop loss order, go for it. Tasco, TSCO, I believe, if memory serves me. Oh, Tractor Supply Company. Nice monthly chart, I have to say. Let's throw up some manual. We're beginning to break out on the month where we have broken out. The question is, do we hold it? Let's overlay some automated trend lines here, see what we're dealing with. Yeah, so you could see that back here in July, August, we were tapping that upper band of resistance. Rather than correcting and trading back down to the lower band of support, there was enough demand for the shares to keep it aloft, traded it sideways, and we broke out of this wedge formation. Weekly chart. Larry, that's a good piece of information. What's the yield on ABBV? Larry just put a note in. ABBV goes ex-dividend tomorrow, buy ABBV today. Arthur, SPCE on the back test of the trend line breakout looks like a nice long for year-end and 2021. We'll bring it up. All right, so I like this chart a lot. On a weekly time frame, while we're off the highs of the week, what we're doing is we're retesting a breakout point. We're sitting on top of it. We need to hold the lows of the week. Daily chart. They have a bit of resistance above here. What I would do is I would create an alert, get warned of a breakout. So the alert's set. Let's make sure that took. There it is. Let's take a look at seasonality. There's a lot of data on this stock. Going back 19 years, we're up 66% of the time in October, 63 in November, and it drops down dramatically for December. So seasonality looks favorable. So I think we're going up higher here on TSCO. ABBV. Oh, they're paying 5 1/3%. ABBV. So dividend capture, if memory serves me, is you're long of the stock for the ex-dividend date, then you dump it right thereafter. Is that accurate, Larry? Or is there a bit more nuance to it that I'm not articulating appropriately for the audience? All right. So on a technical time frame basis, the monthly chart is looking pretty good. We're consolidating at 84.73. We have rallied off that point. Weekly chart. We've broken out on the week. We do have a bit of overhead supply above, as noted by these volume shelves. But it looks good. You can see we spent a few weeks trying to get through resistance, but we did manage to do so. Daily chart. Biden yesterday says he's running for the Senate, so I guess Trump is in as it's an uncontested election. Very good, Arthur. That was good. Daily chart. A bit of a megaphone formation going on here. Here's your lower band of support, upper band of resistance. I like it. You know, I would imagine that you're going to have a lot of people with the dividend capture trade. So after they pay out that dividend, you may get a pullback. But otherwise, I think it's going up higher. It's a good-looking chart. I would wait for a continuation move higher, but I think that it looks good. Or even more wonderful would be a pullback and a retest of this support level right here. I mean, that may be too much to ask for, especially between now and tomorrow. But so we'll keep it active for a few days. But I think what Larry's saying here is that the real play is the dividend capture. And taking a look at seasonality, very favorable month in October. This goes back 8 years. There's got to be more data than this. There's not. I thought there was. Okay. All right. Going back 8 years, we're up 75% of the time in October, then 71% of the time in November. Seasonally favorable period of time of the year. I think we're going up higher. We'll leave it off with SPCE for Arthur. Let's go monthly time frame first. So the line in the sand here is $22 a share for SPCE. As a matter of fact, let's raise it up. $22.55. This is a great stock to sell premium on. I'm not going to go over seasonality because it's way too thin of data. On a weekly time frame, we're down on the week. We have an alert already set here for around $20 a share. Where did we close out yesterday? 2057, easily achievable. Very volatile stock. I think I said that on Sunday night. Daily chart. Daily chart, we are... Yeah, we'll probably retap this lower band of support. So I would wait for $20 a share to get hit. You may overshoot, see a 19 handle on it. Let's watch and see whether or not we reverse to close back above $20 a share. And that would be, if we get a bullish key reversal on the day after tapping a 19 handle and we close back above 20, that would tell me that, okay, we'll probably putting in a higher low. We'll consolidate, in all probability, move up higher. Sam, ropin. I don't know how to say your name. You're great. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Sam, Bob, I will give you a tip like a friend. 7 ways to discipline your son. 46 million of you, Bob. You should do 7 error you should not do on stock market. All right. All right. Thanks for the tip. AMD. We'll leave it off with AMD. So I like SPC. Let it pull into 20 handle, 19 handle. Watch for a bullish reversal bar. All right. AMD, last stock of the day. That's what you're asking me is something that I'm not really qualified to ask. Is the Xilinx deal accretive or not accretive? I don't know. I'm not that smart. I really don't spend a lot of time in the balance sheets, but the markets do, or in their boardrooms. I don't know. I'll leave that up to people that are more educated than me when it comes down to the deal. All I look at is how is the market reacting to the deal. And while they're paying out a lot of money for the company, at least what it appears to be on dollar terms, could be cheap for all I know, in terms of valuation for Xilinx. But the market, it's still up on the month. And yes, smash the like button. Thank you, WD Shocker. Smash the like button, please. We're holding gains. I mean, we're at the point where I always like to take out of my bag of trader sayings, the test is always at the top, right? So you take your crayon out. You want to know if it's a good deal? It's pretty simple. Take out your crayon. Do we break out and put in new all-time highs, or do we fail? Simple as that. So the way to trade it is either A, wait for the breakout. If it breaks out to new all-time highs, the street's all good. The Xilinx deal's old news. They're not worried about it. They're taking it up higher. If it pulls back and holds a support level right down here, and that's a good risk-reward entry point, you can put on a small trade. Scratch the edge. Use a stop loss right below that point. Then on a continuation breakout higher, if that happens, then you add more to your position because, again, the street is validating that you're right. They don't care about the Xilinx deal. It's not a problem. So let the charts, let the market tell you whether or not the deal is a good one or a bad one, because the market is never wrong. Now, on a daily time frame, we broke down on, not Friday. Down day on Friday. We broke down yesterday. I was correct the first time. We broke down on Friday, inside day yesterday. Hitting a bit of a wall here on RSI. It's 60 and a third on RSI. Let's check out seasonality. November, a favorable month, as is December to a lesser extent. January, February, not favorable months for Advanced Micro. And yes, Arthur, thank you. Smash the like button, folks. I'm going to leave it off with that. Everybody have a profitable trading day. If you want to join us on Thursday night, get alerted by using the link below. Enter your email address, 15-minute to a half-hour alert prior to us going live for Thursday night Stock Charts Live. We'll review the health of the overall markets. If you want TrendSpider 35% off, use that link below. And everybody have a great day. If my girlfriend sees my comments, would be very angry at me. I forgot plurals, and she is very good in English. You did fine, Shannon, as always. Be well, folks.